What's up everyone, this is CyberKnight, and today we have a World Chalice Archetype discussion video for you guys. Yeah, I know I've been promising this for quite a while now, finally got the time to record this, and also I do plan on having a deck profile for them, hopefully by the end of this week, something like that. I'm waiting on one card basically to get it in the mail, so I'm waiting on that, and hopefully we'll have that sooner than later. But anyway, for this video I'm going to be talking about the World Chalice Archetype and different cards that work well with them and everything, so we're just going to go through all the cards that we have right now, and I'm even going to talk about a couple of cards that are in Circuit Break that kind of go along with them too. Alright, so first off, what are the World Chalice? What do they do, and what's the strategy behind them? Well, basically, on World Chalice, their three main monsters are three normal monsters. They all have different attributes, levels, even on those, and different typing, and they turn into the Link monsters. You know, they kind of level up or grow up even, and become the Link monsters for the archetype. And basically what it does is that they just Link summon as quickly as possible. They're probably the best at spamming Link monsters right now at the current time, with a Duelist just coming out for TCG. Yeah, they're probably the ones that can spam more than any other archetype right now. So that's basically what they do. The normal monsters, you know, become stronger, become Link monsters, and that's what they do. They just swarm the field and just have actually a lot of power to them, more power than you would think. I mean, it's kind of cool to see normal monsters and Link monsters actually working together. So anyway, let's go ahead and start going through the cards and talking about them. First off, I'm just going to talk about all three normal monsters together because there's just not a ton to say about them. So first off, we have Crowned by the World Chalice, which is the water, a level 2 spellcaster with 0 attack and 2100 defense. After that, we also have Chosen by the World Chalice, which is a fire attribute this time, level 3 psychic normal monster with 1600 attack and 0 defense. And then, of course, the third one is Beckoned by the World Chalice, which is Earth, level 4 warrior normal monster with 1800 attack and 0 defense. So again, they're normal monsters, so obviously they don't have effects. So these are the ones, they're kind of your main cards that you're going to be using because they are, you know, turning into the Link monsters, which have some really good effects. So, you know, they, like I said, they kind of level up or grow up. I don't really know exactly how the lore works, but they're basically the new good guys that gain new power and then become Link monsters, I guess the best way to put it. So with these, of course, you would think, well, different levels and everything, that could actually be a problem, and really it's not. Each one of them has like their own thing that works out for them, because first off, Crowned by the World Chalice, she has it where she has good defense. I mean, 2100 defense, so she's probably the more defensive of the others, and that's basically what you can do, is like just defend yourself with her. Then after that, we also have Chosen World Chalice. What's good about him is that he's actually psychic and level 3, so he's a perfect candidate for emergency teleport, which we'll be talking about that later on in the support section of the video. But yeah, he's just a great candidate for that, so that actually works out in his favor. And then, of course, last but not least, Beckoned by the World Chalice, well, it's a level 4 warrior. So not only is it good level 4 monster, which gives you access to level 4 support, well, I mean, reinforcement of the army. Right there, you have a way to search for it. So all three of these cards work out really well in different levels, and everything gives them access to a lot of different strategies. So at first, people may look at these and think, well, you know, that's not too good with them all being different levels. It's actually one of their strengths, believe it or not. So, and yeah, that's pretty much all I can say about the normal monsters. But basically, you're going to be running 3 of each of them in just about every build. So yeah, you definitely want to have 3 of each. Alright, next up for our first effect monster for the archetype, and that is World Chalice Guard Dragon. It is a wind level 1 dragon with 400 attack and 400 defense. And of course, its effect is when a card or effect is activated that targets your linked monster, quick effect, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one normal monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense position to the zone a link monster points to. You can only use this effect of World Chalice Guard Dragon once per turn. So, yeah, I mean, he does basically what his name says. He guards them. He protects the different World Chalice monsters. That's what's really good about him, is that whenever your opponent is going after your linked monsters, you can actually have basically a hand trap, or it works on the field too, which is pretty nice, but basically a way to negate effects and just get rid of them. So he really does protect the World Chalice, like I said, as the name suggests. Not only that, he's kind of like a, sort of like a monster reborn, I guess, for the normal monsters too, being able to revive them, and then that just gives you more, you know, ways to link summon, basically, after that. So, like I said, it's just basically a themed hand trap for them with a negation effect and even a revival effect. But yeah, Guard Dragon will definitely come in handy for you, and it's another one most players are going to be running at 2 to 3, around in there. And after that, we have Lee, the World Chalice Fairy. Real quick, before I read up its effect, I want to say, if you guys are hearing thunder in the background, it's because there's a thunderstorm going on right now, but I still want to get this recording done. So if you happen to hear thunder, that's what's going on. Just want to say that real quick. But anyway, this is a light level 3 fairy effect monster with 100 attack and 2000 defense. Its effect is, if this card is normal or special summon, you can add one World Chalice monster from your deck to your hand. If this card is in your graveyard, you can send one monster from your hand or field to the graveyard, add this card to your hand. You can only use each effect of Lee the World Chalice Fairy once per turn. So what does this card do for World Chalice? Basically, it's a searcher. Whenever it is normal or special summon, you add a World Chalice monster from your deck to your hand. So that will definitely come in handy for you. So that can mean, getting Guard Dragon to your hand so you can use it to protect yourself, or, just searching for anything you may need. So that's actually pretty cool. Not only that, of course, when it's in your graveyard, you can actually, send a monster from your hand or field to the grave, and then just add this card back to your hand, basically being able to recycle it itself. So that's another thing that's great. I mean, like I said, it's basically just a searcher that can even bring itself back and just keep using that effect over and over. So basically, you can get whatever World Chalice monster that you need from your deck and just get it to your hand as quickly as possible. Really great card. It's another one kind of like with Guard Dragon that I would be running about 2 or 3 in most builds. My build right now, I'm using 3 of them, and this is actually the card too that I'm waiting on. Like, I had 2 of them, I forgot I didn't have a 3rd one, so that's the one I'm waiting on, and once I get that, like I said, we'll do the deck profile. After that, we have World Legacy World Chalice. This one is a dark level 5 machine effect monster with 0 attack and 0 defense. And of course, its effect is, if a monster is special summoned from the extra deck, except during the damage step, you can tribute this card, send that monster to the graveyard. You can only use each of the following effects of World Legacy World Chalice once per turn. The first part of that effect is, if this face-up normal summoner set card leaves the field, you can special summon 2 World Chalice monsters from your deck except World Legacy World Chalice. And the second one is, during your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, add 1 World Legacy card from your deck to your hand. So basically, if I understand the lore right, this is the Holy Grail. So that's what this card represents, and man, does it do a lot for World Chalices. First off, that first effect can actually help make sure that your opponent isn't summoning stuff from the extra deck. So if they're bringing out a Link monster or something, you can just tribute this card and then just not deal with this. So that first effect can definitely help you out and give you a way to kind of lock down your opponent from using extra deck monsters. So that's going to come in handy for you. Not only that, the second effect is that when it's normal summon or set and then it leaves the field, you can special summon 2 World Chalice monsters from your deck except for itself. So with that, of course, the more World Chalices you have, the better. That just means more plays for Link monsters and everything, so obviously that's also a really awesome effect. And of course, if that wasn't enough, the last effect that it has is really good too, because during that main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the grave, you can banish it from the grave and add a World Legacy card from your deck to your hand. So that could give you another one of World Chalice. There are some other World Legacies that are going to be coming out later on too, so that can, give you a lot more strategies as well. But just being able to add another one these to your hand can be pretty good too, so this card just does a lot for them. Basically, like I said, locking down the extra deck for your opponent. If there are Link summoning, Xyz, Synchro, whatever, anything from the extra deck, you can just tribute this card and not deal with this. So that can definitely help you out, especially if they're going for a big Link summon. And then that second effect too, being able to special summon 2 World Chalice monsters from your deck, yeah, like I said, that just sets up all kinds of Link monsters for you. Like seriously, with this deck anyway, you can swarm the field really easily with Link monsters, and being able to bring out 2 of them like that, yeah, you can pretty much set up your whole field after that. So this card is amazing for them, and yeah, I mean, it is the Holy Grail for them, the Chalice, so it will definitely do a lot. And it's also a card that I recommend running 3 of. And then next up, we're going to be talking about World Legacy World Armor. Yes, I've already talked about this card in the Crawler Archetype discussion video, but I kind of felt like it also belongs in this video, in case people don't know what it does or anything. This is a card that's in Circuit Break right now, so of course we will begin it, I guess, in October, because that's when Circuit Break comes out for us, and it is a World Legacy. So I feel like, I should still talk about this video, but, if you guys, saw the previous video on Crawler stuff, you may already know how I feel about this. But anyway, let's go ahead and go through it. It is World Legacy World Armor. It is a dark level 7 machine effect monster with 2,500 attack and 2,500 defense. Anyway, its effect is, when a monster is flip summoned, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add 1 World Legacy card from your deck to your hand. If you control this normal summoner set monster, quick effect, you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls that was special summoned from the extra deck, return both it and this card to the hand. You can only use each effect of World Legacy World Armor once per turn. So yeah, of course, as you guys can see from its effect and everything, obviously, this card is made for crawlers, not so much made for World Chalice. Of course, with the flip summoning thing, you can still flip summon World Chalice, but crawlers are made to do that. That's, all their effects that they share are, flip effects. So it is made better for them, but like I said, I still want to bring it up because it is a World Legacy, because, of course, Chalice can search for it, and it's still a really good card. I mean, you can easily special summon it, having that 2,500 attack, 2,500 defense. It does have better stats, compared to Chalice, and also being able to get rid of extract monsters yet again. So it's still a great card. I wanted to bring up this video anyway because it kind of is connected with the others, although I don't know if World Chalice users will ever really test it out, you know, and it'll really work for them because, again, you can tell it's obviously made for crawlers, which is the sworn enemy of the World Chalice. But I could probably see like one of these like thrown in World Chalice anyway because, like I said, you have the searching for it, and of course any deck out there can flip summon, so, you know, if you want to try it out, it could be kind of a fun choice to kind of throw in there if you want to have like one of them for some reason. But again, mainly just want to bring it up because of what it is, and it's still a great card, like I said in the crawler archetype discussion. Alright, next up we're moving on to our Link monsters. So this one is, of course, Guard Dragon, all grown up now. It is Imduk, the World Chalice Dragon. Anyway, it is a wind attribute Link monster dragon with the Link arrow up at the top, and of course 800 attack and with the Link of 1. And of course, it can be Link summoned with a normal monster except a token. Anyway, its effect is during your main phase, you can normal summon one World Chalice monster in addition to your normal summoner set. You can only gain this effect once per turn. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster this card points to, you can destroy the opponent's monster. If this card was sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon one World Chalice monster from your hand. So basically, this is like the first World Chalice you go for. You know, the Link monsters, it's the one that helps you set everything up. Really good effects, too, on this one, because not only does it give you that additional normal summon, which is, again, really good. I mean, we're talking about Link summoning here. Anything that can help you storm the field is a good thing. That just means more Link monsters, basically. So it helps set you up for that. Also, whenever it points at one of your opponent's monsters, just being able to destroy it, that's a good effect, too, especially since it's a little bit of a weaker monster, but it can still get around some stronger monsters out there. So having that effect is definitely going to come in handy for you. And then when it is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon a World Chalice monster from your hand. So it just has to be sent from field to the graveyard. So Link summon with it even, and you gain that effect. So this obviously is like one of their main Link monsters that they use. Like I said, this is the one that starts everything off. When you're Link summoning, you go for him first, and then it'll give you the extra normal summon, storm the field, set everything up, bring out the bigger Link monsters is what you're doing. So it is obviously, like I said, one of the better ones, and this is one you definitely want to have at 3 because, like I said, it just sets everything up, plain and simple. I mean, I can't really say anything else besides that. And then, of course, our next Link monster is Imduk, the World Chalice Priestess. She is a water spellcaster Link monster with a Link arrow at the left and right, 1,800 attack with a Link of 2, and of course requires 2 monsters with different types and attributes to Link summon into her. And of course her effect is this Link card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Your opponent cannot target this Link card with card effects. If a monster this card points to would be destroyed by a card effect, you can send this card to the graveyard instead. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon one World Chalice monster from your hand. So yeah, Imduk, the World Chalice Priestess is kind of the protector of the World Chalice, which kind of makes sense too with what we've seen with the lore and everything. So whenever she is linked to other monsters, then she cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Like, card effects can't even just bother her at all. Not only that, of course, that the cards that she points to, she can actually protect them. You know, if they would be destroyed by a card effect, you can just send her to the graveyard instead. And then, of course, when she's sent from the field to the graveyard, you're able to special summon a World Chalice monster from your hand. So that's basically what she does. She protects monsters, she makes sure to stay on the field, she's like unaffected by most things, and also whenever she is sent from the field to the graveyard, then you get to special summon a World Chalice monster. So another great card for them, and one that pretty much like the other World Chalice, we're going to be talking about the other Link monsters, one that I would be running at 2, and that's what I'm using in my build as well, because yeah, she just works out really well, and she's another one kind of like the next setup, you know, after Imduk. So yeah, one I definitely recommend running at 2. After that, we have Arum, the World Chalice Blademaster. He is a fire attribute Cyverse Link monster with 2,000 attack, the Link of 2, and has the Link arrows at the bottom left and bottom right. And of course, to Link summon him, he requires 2 World Chalice monsters. His effect is gains 300 attack for each World Legacy monster in your graveyard with a different name. You can tribute 1 World Chalice monster this card points to, then target 1 other monster in your graveyard, special summon it to your zone this card points to. You can only use this effect of Arum, the World Chalice Blademaster, once per turn. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 World Chalice monster from your hand. So yeah, right off the bat, a really easy Link monster to bring out, just requires 2 World Chalice monsters. Obviously, that's going to be easy for you to do, and pretty much the World Legacy, the Holy Grail, is going to be able to set you up for that too. And that's the reason this card kind of calls back for that as well, because, you know, his normal monster talks about how he gets the different World Legacy parts and stuff and uses them in battle. Well, that's the reason he also gets stronger for that too, because he's getting 300 attack for each World Legacy in your graveyard with a different name. So obviously with Chalice, that's going to help you power up this card a little bit more, make him a little stronger than 2,000 attack. attack. Also, of course, you're able to tribute a World Chalice monster this card points to, and then target another monster in your graveyard and special summon it to that zone. So that can help you out too. Bring back some of your other World Chalices, your different even Link monsters and stuff, which could help you set up for a bigger Link monster, you know, if you want to. So that effect will definitely come in handy for you. And then at the end, of course, he has that, you know, effect just like the others. Whenever he is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon a World Chalice monster from your hand. So this card can help you bring back some other World Chalices, help you, you know, decide which ones you're sending to the graveyard, and then bring back another one. And again, like I said, if you bring back another Link monster, that can help you go for an easy Link summon. I mean, you could like bring out an easy Firewall Dragon or something like that for you. But yeah, Arum is just a great Link monster for the archetype, and just like with Ib, I recommend running 2 of him, and that's pretty much the way it is for all the Link monsters for the World Chalice, except for Imduk. You know, you run him at 3, the others you're going to be running at 2 each. So, like I said, it can just set up a lot of different things for you yet again, which is what they all do, basically. I know I keep saying that, but that's what the whole archetype does, is to set up to bring out more Link monsters. They just swarm the field with that, and this card definitely helps with that. And then, of course, for our last Link monster, we have Nigirsu, the World Chalice Warrior. He is a Earth Warrior Link monster with the Link arrows at the top, left, and right. Of course, 2,500 attack and the Link of 3. And he requires 2 Link monsters to Link summon into him. At least, you know, 2 Link monsters. And anyway, his effect is, if this card is Link summoned, draw cards equal to the number of World Chalice monsters this card points to. You can only use this effect of Nigirsu, the World Chalice Warrior, once per turn. Once per turn, you can send 1 card from each player's field to the graveyards. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 World Chalice monster from your hand. So yeah, first off, this is the Link monster you're building to, of course, since he does require at least 2 Link monsters to bring him out. So obviously this is the one where you keep, you know, bringing all your different Link monsters. This is the one you're building to on that. Of course, too, you do not want to summon him in the extra monster zone. In case people weren't really paying attention to the effect, you want to bring him out behind the extra monster. You want him to be in a main monster zone, because that way, if you have a World Chalice monster in your extra monster zone, you want to have him below that, and then also World Chalice monsters on both sides of him. That way you're able to draw 3 cards, obviously, because then he's pointing at 3 World Chalice monsters. So wanted to point that out. You definitely don't want to just throw him in that extra monster zone as quickly as possible. You want to have the right setup. So there is some thinking on that. Not only that, too, he actually has an effect where you're able to send a card from each player's field to the graveyard. So get rid of one of yours and one of your opponents, which not a real problem for World Chalice anyway, because as you have seen through all their effects, and this one has the same effect, whenever they are sent from the field to the graveyard, you're able to special summon a World Chalice monster from your hand. So after you have that set up, maybe you have like all the Link monsters out there, you get rid of one of them, get rid of a problematic monster or card even on your opponent's side of the field as well. You're able to then special summon a World Chalice monster from your hand, so that can help you out with more Link summoning even, and you've got rid of one of your opponent's cards from it. But yeah, this is a card that will definitely help you out when you have the field with a bunch of different World Chalice Link monsters out. And also, I'm going to go back on what I've already said. This is a card too, you can get away with just running one of them. I do want to say that, unlike the others, you know, like I was saying, Imduk, you run 3, and then of course the other 2 Link monsters, you want to have 2 of each of them. While in this one, you can get away with 1 in most cases, but you know, 2 is also a good number to have of him as well. But in my build right now, I am actually running 1 of him, and just because you have to set up everything and all that for him, he's not the one you're going to be getting rid of as much as the others, you know, and then, you know, Link summoning more monsters. He's one that you're building up to actually get his effects, whether it be, you know, the draw engine effects and just drawing cards and stuff. So yeah, that's the reason too. You can get away with 1 of him, and again, works really well with them, especially after they swarm the field. And then next up we have the field spell for the World Chalice, and that is World Legacy Discovery. Of course, its effect is all World Chalice monsters on the field gain 300 attack and defense. Once per turn, if a face-up World Chalice monster you control is destroyed by battle or leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, you can target 1 World Chalice monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense position. So basically, what does this card do? It's just pretty much a power-up, you know, just getting that 300 attack and defense, which, you know, can kind of come in handy for you, and also making it so if your World Chalice monsters are destroyed by battle or just leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, again, that's the only part I don't really like about it, it was opponent's card effect. I guess it would be a little too powerful if it was, you know, just leaving the field like they're, you know, the Link monsters effects, but yeah, that's kind of one of those things. It's just a card to kind of help against your opponent. It's one that's pretty good for them, one that, I mean, you can run in it. In my build, I'm not running any of them just because it's, you know, just not the best effects for them, honestly, but it's not really a bad card either, just one that I feel like for right now, isn't really needed. So it is one that if you want to, you can run a couple of them, but in my build, like I said, I'm not running any of them, so I guess it's up to preference. And then next up we have World Legacy's Heart, which is a normal spell card, and its effect is target 2 World Chalice monsters in your graveyard with different names, add them to your hand. If your linked link monster would be destroyed by battle, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. You can only activate 1 World Legacy's Heart per turn. So basically this is a card that is able to recycle your World Chalice monsters. So with that, you're able to get 2 different ones with different names, from your graveyard, add them to your hand. And also this is a card that can, protect your other monsters. You're able to then just banish it from the graveyard and, yeah, just protect them from being destroyed by battle. Not bad. I mean, this is definitely one that comes handy for you because just being able to recycle your World Chalice is something you're definitely going to need. So this is a card, right now in my build, I'm running at 3, and this is one I recommend it having about 2 or 3 in most cases. And then last but not least, we're going to be talking about World Legacy Landmark. This is a trap card that's in Code of the Duelist, but right now it's kind of interesting because it kind of does belong with the archetype, but also in a way it mainly goes with the World Legacies, and I feel like it'll make more sense once we get more World Legacies. But another one, kind of like with the card from Circuit Break, it's one I wanted to bring up. So anyway, it is a normal trap card, and its effect is banish 1 World Legacy monster from your hand or face up from your field, then target 2 monsters in your graveyard, special summon them, but they cannot attack this turn. So yeah, you guys can kind of see what I mean from this. It's kind of like the Circuit Break World Legacy, where it's kind of part of the archetype, but it's kind of not as well, but it's one I want to bring up since it is in Code of the Duelist. Anyway, as you guys can see, this card can work with World Chalices because we are using the World Legacy Chalice, which, like I said, in most cases you're going to be using 3 of them, and this card can work with it. I mean, you're able to get rid of a World Legacy monster from your hand or face up on your field, and then you're able to revive 2 monsters from your graveyard, and it's just 2 monsters too. It doesn't have to be 2 World Chalices. So that can obviously come in handy for you. They can't attack, but you can use them to bring out, other monsters, whether it be a Link Summon or whatever you want to do from that. So that's not a problem for you. But basically what this card really is like just a revival card for World Legacies, so that's what I mean in this card. It's kind of part of the archetype, but it's more towards the World Legacy archetype that they have. So it might make a little bit more sense when there are more World Legacies, because right now we really only have one that works for, of course, the World Chalice, and then the one that works for the crawlers that we talked about in this video, and that's pretty much it, except for like the spell cards and stuff. We're talking about the monsters because this one works with the monsters. But yeah, this is a card I really don't recommend running because, yeah, it can come in handy in some situations, but right now I just feel like there's not enough World Legacy monsters to really make it worth it. So this could actually be a little bit better in the crawlers because they have their World Legacy, it's a little bit different, easier to bring out and stuff, so it might make a little bit more sense for them. But honestly, right now, with only really having one of the World Legacies that works with the World Chalice, out of the monsters, yeah, I would just wait on this card and see what happens. So for right now, you can throw one of them in if you want, but this is one I really recommend at like 0 or 1 of them. Alright, now to the support section of this video where we talk about different cards that work really well with the World Chalices. The first one we're going to talk about is Rescue Ferret, and this one is pretty straightforward. I mean, it's a great card that helps you bring out more monsters to Link Summon, and just kind of like what its past rescue monsters do. How Rescue Rabbit helped with Xyz summoning, and of course Rescue Cat helped with basically just swarming the field and going for, whether it be Xyz or Synchros, I guess, really with that one. But yeah, this one will help you out with being able to Link Summon. It negates effects, who cares? I mean, most time you're going to be bringing out, of course, your normal monsters, obviously, and they don't have effects anyway, so again, who cares? And with that, of course, it helps you bring out a Link monster, so that's pretty much what it's going to do. It's one you can easily run one of them in the deck, and it can help you out. So yeah, it's a pretty fun card, and like I said, it's kind of a straightforward card, but one I still wanted to mention since it is a new one too. Then, of course, to go along with that, I'm also going to say Rescue Rabbit, because Rescue Rabbit is still awesome, and it works with normal monsters. There you go, you have normal monsters, obviously, in World Chalice. Anything that involves them, Rescue Rabbit is great in, because you're able to easily get some monsters on the field, and that just means more Link monsters, is what it does. So, again, just like I said, it's a monster that instantly makes it so you can Link Summon, so another one you could definitely use, and one that I really recommend, even sometimes over Rescue Ferret, just because it's just plain simple, get those monsters out there, there you go. And then next up we have Masked Chameleon. Basically the same idea as like I talked about in the Goki discussion video, because again we're dealing with some monsters with 0 defense. Beckon and Chosen, which are normal monsters, they both have 0 defense, so they work really well with Masked Chameleon, and that could mean an easy Synchro Summon, Xyz Summon, or of course Link Summon from that, because being able to go with those. Especially Beckon as well, because he is a level 4, so again that's an easy, like I said, Xyz Summon, but also you can Synchro Summon with him and bring out Omega, which is obviously one of the better synchro monsters that are out right now, and using him will definitely help you out. So yeah, Mescamillion still works really great with this deck, just like with Goki's. Same idea, really. I guess just a few less monsters it can work with, but when you're running 3 of Chosen and Beckon, yeah, you will definitely get some play out of Mescamillion then. Then, of course, obviously, I gotta talk about this card. It is Blackwing Gofu, the Vague Shadow. This might not be too notable because I feel like on our next ban list it'll be limited to 1, like what happened over in Japan, but this card is just an instant decode talker, or basically just a card that can set up for really any link summon that you want. So with this card, of course, if you don't know how it works to bring out decode talker, basically use its effect, then it brings out, of course, its 2 tokens, then you know, of course, you haven't even normal summon yet, you just have basically 3 monsters in your side of the field, Gofu and the 2 tokens. You turn one of the tokens into a link spider, you know, link summon into it because they count as normal monsters on that, so obviously there you go. And then now you have 2 monsters in your side of the field that count as effect monsters, link spider and Gofu, and you also have that other token which can count another part of the link, so that's an instant decode talker. So that's the reason people are afraid of Gofu. That's the reason it's really good in most decks out there, because it's just an instant decode talker you're able to bring out on the field, which works out with just about any deck out there right now especially, and works out well with this one too. Then after that, of course, Gofu's not the only monster that can help you out with bringing out, you know, some extra monsters to link summon with. We also have the Agent of Creation Venus and Mystic Shineball. This combo is really good because first off, it works out with World Chalice because the Mystic Shineballs are actually normal monsters, so that can help you out with your link summoning, and just more ways to bring out more monsters will definitely help you out. I mean, that just makes it so you can link summon even more. So this works out pretty much the same as Gofu. I mean, Venus can help you just by paying out a little bit of life points. You get a Mystic Shineball, and that can be Imduk instantly, you know, whether it be in your hand or deck, able to special summon it, link summon with it, and you're getting everything started. So that's pretty much why you're seeing Venus going up in price lately too, because it's kind of the same idea as Gofu, like I said, just being able to swarm the field, link summon as quickly as possible is a great strategy for any deck out there, but this card works a little bit better than most just because, again, you're dealing with normal monsters, and that's the theme with this, so there you go. And then, of course, next up, I know you guys are probably sick of hearing about this, but the Brilliant Fusion Engine. It works really well with World Chalice, works well with anything that involves link summoning these days. You're seeing it in so many different decks, and the reason is being able to use Brilliant Fusion, and this time for this deck, you're going to be using Gem Knight Lazuli, just because it works better with normal monsters. You're able to, you know, target a normal monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand, so that's better than Gem Knight for you in this build. And also, you can use Lee, the World Chalice, which is, of course, a great target for it, because you don't mind sending that to the graveyard, and then you're able to bring out CyberKnight, which of course helps you get that additional normal summon, which then means, you know, more monsters in the field, which obviously means more link monsters. So that's the reason people are running this, is because obviously it works out with so many different decks because you want that CyberKnight and then being able to get that extra normal summon, but it works even better for World Chalice because you have 2 good targets that you don't mind sending to the graveyard. After that, we're moving on to Unexpected Die. This card is really simple because it makes it so that if you control no monsters, you special summon a level 4 or lower normal monster from your deck. So that can mean any of the World Chalice monsters that are normal monsters instantly to your side of the field. So this is a great card for that, and one that is definitely worth running in this because, like I said, instant access to any of the World Chalices like that. Obviously that can mean an instant link monster afterwards, and a great card to have. Then, of course, next up, just like I talked about at the beginning of this video, we have Emergency Teleport. It works really well with Chosen by the World Chalice. I mean, there you go again, you have an instant way to bring out a World Chalice normal monster, which then means link summoning everything too. So yeah, this is another great card to have just because to get Chosen the World Chalice out there as quickly as possible, and then just go for your link monster. So obviously, another great choice, and one I really recommend too. After that, we also have Painful Decision. Again, you're dealing with normal monsters, so that brings a lot of different support. Painful Decision can help you out and get whatever normal monsters you need, so it's another great option for you. And yep, there you go, that is my World Chalice discussion video. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. It's actually raining pretty hard outside right now too, so I don't know if you guys can hear it. It's really thundering out there, but again, I had some time to record and I wanted to get this video out to you guys as quickly as possible because I've been getting a lot of requests for it, and I'm really happy to see that you guys are enjoying these discussion videos and have been requesting more of them. So of course, let me know in the comments what other discussions you guys want to see in the future. I am working on a Vola Archetype discussion video. That'll probably be the next video, and I'm still planning on doing something with like Trickstars, Altergeist, and a lot of different things, honestly. But if you guys have any requests, of course, let me know. Oh yeah, and Magibullets. Magibullets might actually, it'll be either Bullets or Magibullets, then whatever isn't chosen probably next, is what I'm thinking, because those are the two I'm seeing the most requests for. But yeah, I mean, I have a heck of a list I'm working on, basically, is what I'm saying. So I'm just happy you guys are enjoying these videos, and if you did enjoy this video, be sure to hit that like button. I hope these videos help out a lot of people. I'm hoping that, you know, just talking about these different cards, it really does help out a person. If they want to try out an archetype, they can watch this video and learn how how it works and get some ideas on building their own deck about it. So let me know if you guys are enjoying these by hitting that like button, of course. And also, like I said at the beginning of this video, I am planning to do a deck profile on this. I'm hoping it will be sooner than later. Like I said, I'm just waiting on one card. If I can just get it in the mail, hopefully quickly, then I'll have the deck profile for you guys too, because it's another video I've been getting a lot of requests for. But again, as always, thank you guys for watching. You guys are awesome. Be sure to subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh videos, openings, discussions, news videos, all kinds of stuff. And of course I will. Catch you guys later. See ya.